I just looked at my Twitter. I want to post this video into the tweet where y'all can find it if you're inclined to. But I'm not reading the responses that have been all the new responses that are there since I last looked, much less responding to them. So I'm gonna just kind of pepper spray everybody with this and leave it here, and y'all can on the tweet, and y'all can throw a fit, because I've challenged your worldview, and it's an uncomfortable feeling. For anybody who doesn't have a clue what's going on Twitter earlier, which Twitter's always a problem. It's the easiest place to find like flash mobs of people all defending the agreed upon worldview that they share. But anyways, so made a comment, found a tweet talking about moon landing, and I posted a video of the Apollo 17 shuttle launching off the moon, which, if I remember, maybe I'll splice in right here.
3, 2, 1, ignition. Right away, Houston. That's your good.
If I don't remember, you got to check it out. It's the most it's just absurd. It's absurd. It doesn't look, it's such a bad fake. It doesn't look like they were even trying to have it not look like a fake. It got a little pop in the thrusters, like shoot out this cheesy 80s looking multicolored glitter splash. It just, yeah, I'm not gonna try to explain it. You just gotta watch it. It's amazingly bad. So I comment, and it's a middle of the line comment. You know, it wasn't out of bounds, it wasn't rude, it wasn't abrasive, but I posted, I knew it was gonna be against the grain of the conversation that I was entering. Of course it was. And that was intentional because the grain needed to be gone against. But since then, all these motherfuckers have come out just losing their shit. So if you take a step back from the situation, the specifics of the situation, and just look at what's really going on here. Let's analyze this social interaction and what's happening with this tweet and the responses. Because there are a whole lot of these fluoride drinking motherfuckers who feel like I have attacked their worldview. Real upset. If you challenge something like this, saying the moon landing's fake, people who think the moon landing was not fake take that shit personal. And it doesn't make any sense, right? It's kind of a weird response. I didn't say you faked the moon landing. I didn't say they faked the moon landing in your mom's vagina, which they may have. What I'm saying is the moon landing's fake. And under any context where you hadn't been brainwashed by every single person and institution you've talked to since the day you were born until the day the internet started catching up with the propaganda, if you looked at this from fresh eyes without the indoctrination, you go, oh yeah, that does look like a bullshit video. Oh yeah, this organization, NASA, I can see how they would have a lot of incentive back then to fake a moon landing, if no other reason, just because it's easier. You can bill out for however much money it'd cost, and let's assume you do know how to get to the moon, which that's a big assumption. Why even bother if you could just fake it and pocket shitloads of money and then keep that going, so you've got a black budget sinkhole of funds indefinitely for decades and decades? I can't think of not one reason. So you've got motive. There's lots of motives, but let's just focus on the simplest one: simple greed, money. Okay. Or the other simplest one, like maybe they don't have the technology. Yeah, that's a reasonable concern. Okay, so what do we how do we make ourselves feel more comfortable that this is a true moon landing and not some bullshit in a Hollywood studio? Can we look at, I don't know, tapes, pictures, evidence from the mission? We can't. You know why? Because if you start doing some research, you realize that apparently NASA accidentally taped over all the original footage from the Apollo missions, and that is an unbelievable amount of incompetence. Literally unbelievable. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. So what else can we do? Okay. That's obviously a bullshit response, but we can't prove that it's bullshit, right? We just sort of know it. We can look for consistency over time throughout the statements of the astronauts, right? Maybe that will help us feel more comfortable that if they're all saying the same thing over the course of time, they don't have any weird blunders while at speaking events or whatever where they really fuck up something that you wouldn't expect them to fuck up if they had actually gone to the moon. If we don't find any of those, and oh wait, we do have some of that. So they're not consistent. And then we learned that NASA was basically founded by Nazi scientists. And then
mentira, yo ni fumo, güey, no me gusta, mentira.
all right, so we don't have tapes. We don't have consistency. We don't, turns out, have the technology anymore to get back to the moon. That's right. Apparently, when asked why they hadn't gone to the moon in so long, NASA admitted they don't know how. They lost the technology to be able to get back to the moon. Now, is technology just that easy to lose? Like, I don't know, your keys? Is technology your keys? Can we forget how to make a car? Or, like, could you forget how to do Legos? I don't know. It just seems unbelievable. It seems like, you know what, there's probably somebody who spent enough time. There's enough body of knowledge that we could reconstruct this pretty easily. Even if we lost all the, technical documents, there should be enough knowledge in NASA to piece it back together fairly simply. And not just, it's just lost forever, we can never recover it. Anyways. So, let's see. Founded by Nazi scientists. Well, at least there's not, any actual evidence of them faking the moon landing. Like, oh wait, there is. Who's the guy that filmed The Shining? And Eyes Wide Shut, and what's his name? Stanley Kubrick. You can look it up right now. Stanley Kubrick admitted to directing the moon landing. He talks all about it in an interview. He died shortly after of a heart attack. And Werner von Braun, who's the father of rocketry or rocket scientist. He was an ex-Nazi too, who came over and basically was the NASA guy, right? He started it. He's the big dog, the big guy. There's videos on YouTube of him saying we never went to the moon. Like, I don't know how they could possibly convince you fucks that we didn't go to the moon. There's no amount of evidence that any of these, like, people flipping out in the Twitter comments, there must be no amount of proof or evidence that could convince you we didn't go to the moon. They literally, the people who are running NASA literally told you we didn't, and you don't believe them. So what we have here is we've got a clusterfuck of groupthink, and defensive mental posturing at people who dared to attack their understanding of the world. Look, you've been lied to your whole life. We all have. Don't be mad at me for trying to correct the lie. Don't try to hang on to that shit. It's not doing you any good. Finding comfort in your false beliefs. This is out of an atheist community too. Like, of all the people to, a group that prides themselves on being rational thinkers and not ascribing to superstitious group ideologies, there's sure a lot of group ideology taking place and very little independent thinking. So what happens is all the sheep come out and freak out, and you've all seen it a million times. This is how these conversations go. I make a claim. I don't believe this is real moon landing. Here's the video. Here's why. Look at the thrusters. I don't believe there's real thrusters. And all of a sudden, you got every single person who sees it and objects, thinking that they deserve a custom-made, I'm supposed to answer every question from every person with completely unrefutable proof. And it's a joke. I'm not wasting my time with that shit. None of y'all are open to the idea that I'm right now anyways. You know how I know? Here's how I know. And here's what prompted me to even make that comment in the first place. It's how the first commenter in this first comment made sure to state, I am not one of those conspiracy theorists. And then how the OP response was, I'm glad you're not a conspiracy nut or some shit. So if you, God, it's been a while since I had earrings in my ears. If you take a step back and look at the social interaction that just happened here, is how the opening dialogue is commenter saying, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's basically just saying, it's like a social contract. It's like, hey, I'm down with right think. You don't gotta worry about me. I'm on right think's page. And DOP Neil, good guy. I mean, he's wrong about basically most things, but I still like the fuck out of Neil. Real nice guy. But Neil's response is like, okay, good. I'm glad we're both in right think. So even though they didn't say it explicitly, and even though neither of them probably realized what was happening while it was happening, the whole conversation started off by creating a social agreement where they both nodded that they agreed with right think. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Good, I'm not a conspiracy theorist either. So what you're saying is you guys both agree to support the prevailing, most dominant perspective. You're agreeing to support the status quo. So you've already agreed to a faction, right? You've aligned yourself with the right thinkers. Just sort of blanket statement. You're not a conspiracy theorist, so you always agree with the mainstream narrative. Is that what you're saying? You don't think conspiracies happen in 2021? In 2021, you're not a conspiracy theorist? What the fuck is wrong with you? How on earth could you not be a conspiracy theorist yet? At all. Or at least, like, walk around self-identifying as not a conspiracy theorist. I mean, it's like you just haven't been... Have you not been here the last few years? I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed that the world's gone to shit. How anybody could think it's a good thing to not be a conspiracy theorist today. Don't worry, I ascribe with the mainstream narrative on things, okay? Bro, I mean, you guys are just flying that fucking compliance flag high. Like, I'm an NPC. I am not a person. I don't have a thought of my own. I just want to go along with the majority. As long as I'm in the majority, everything's cool. I have no thoughts of my own. It's fine. You are non-PCs, and you are pussies, and you are intellectually dishonest if you look at this video and you're not a little bit suspicious. Thank you for having a heart attack on my Twitter comment. It still is absolutely fake as shit. I'm sorry that you're a sucker, but I feel like by making this video and pointing out your mental errors, it can only help you from here. You know, you can't address a problem until you acknowledge a problem, and your problem is that you're willfully ignorant motherfuckers. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and comment.